That's a quote. She told the senators the surveillance program in question is dynamic and warned lawmakers that if the collection program is not renewed, the NSA would lose a valuable tool in the toolbox. Hong Kong's protesters are getting medieval on authorities, combining a mix of modern militant protest tactics such as Molotov cocktails with flaming bows and arrows, javelins, and even catapults. The Mind Unleashed reports that as protests and clashes grow increasingly violent in the Chinese territory, Beijing has continued to issue stern warnings of an impending clampdown by central authorities. On Thursday, the leader of China said the continued unrest in Hong Kong must come to an end, describing protesters' actions as persistent, quote, radical and violent crimes that have seriously trampled over the rule of law and social order, end quote. Hours later, a second person died during clashes between protesters, demanding greater freedom from the mainland Communist Party of China government and pro-Beijing protesters. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
So, you're trying to get pregnant and nothing is working. Give it another shot. Because the key to getting pregnant is let people know you're trying, often and with great detail. By constantly announcing to your friends, family, and casual acquaintances that you're trying to conceive, you dramatically increase the chances of your partner putting a brand new bun in your oven. When I was trying for Lincoln, I made it a daily goal to bring up which position Hunter and I were experimenting with in every conversation I had. I told literally anyone I could, from teachers to babysitters to telemarketers, that I stand on my head after Hunter finishes inside me, and sharing that information really helped me conceive. Plus, people like hearing about it. There's nothing to be ashamed of or hide. What your husband's unprotected penis feels like as he thrusts. How you'll whisper possible baby names in his ear as he ejaculates. These are perfectly natural things to bring up at an office party or to announce at the beginning of a flight.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. You can take control of the airwaves toll free at 855-450-FREE. It's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. Just hop into one of those call-in rooms there, and you will sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, you've got Ian and Chris.
And nobody.
We basically spent the entire day together.
We did
today. Normally we don't do that on Fridays. Normally you've got your business to run at thinkpenguin.com, Chris, and you're doing your thing at electnobody.com. Nobody. But we all came together this morning to drive to Concord, New Hampshire, where there was a very special pony event.
It's funny that the pony fanboy of the club, well, I won't mention his name, but it didn't come with us.
Your partner. Yeah. We still didn't mention his name.
True.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Is he a real pony fanboy or an animated pony fanboy?
Animated.
So there was a real pony at this particular event. And a horse, I think, as well. They weren't both ponies,
Vermin
right?
Supreme.
I think they were both ponies,
Really?
because the horse was not a tall horse, it was a short horse, and they say it's by height.
Oh, really?
Oh, because it seemed like a kind of a normal-ish horse, but I don't know anything about
It
those.
looked adult to me, which I always thought that a pony was a juvenile horse,
Right.
but according to
they're different breeds or whatever.
According to Jay, it's actually just a small horse.
Well, we went to this event. It started just at about noontime today in Concord. It kicked off from a Free State Project Movers bar. There's a bar that's owned by a Free Stater named Area 23. And so it's kind of a gathering place for a lot of libertarians that are up in that area. And Vermin Supreme was the reason we were all out there, and we basically had to take the whole day off because, even though it didn't take all day, we still got to drive there and drive back. And I went to one of the crypto accepting businesses, Taco Biondo, had some dinner there. It was a good day. Any reflections on the pony march? Because we marched for roughly 2 miles from the location where we started to the State House.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Vermin Supreme, of course, on his megaphone.
He rode, though.
He rode, that's true. The rest of us marched.
I would have to say hilarity ensued the entire time. And if you haven't seen, well, you won't have seen the videos yet, but once they're posted, you have to watch the videos.
I would say it was a good event. It wasn't quite to the level of the one where he appeared with the pony at the Hillary Clinton book signing like a year ago.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
I mean, this guy is funny, though. I mean,
because here everybody,
regardless of whether
he is funny.
It was this event or the last one.
I think what made the last one top this one, though, was because he was against hostile forces. At the last one, where there's all these people, there was this Hillary book signing, and so the line of people waiting to go into were you there for it? The line of
I
people.
didn't make that one.
It was like a year, or maybe 2 years ago. Maybe you were still gone
the
at that
faces,
point.
the expression of the faces on those Hillary supporters.
Oh, they were
just
livid. They were livid.
And he even went he crossed the line with reading from his book about bestiality.
Reading a pornographic.
It was just great.
Bestial section of his book, I Pony, out loud to this group of uppity Hillary Clinton supporters who did not take kindly to his artistic performance. And so there were some real winners of interactions at that one. This one was a different event because everybody was supportive. Like people driving by, waving, they had their cameras.
Lots and lots of honking.
Yeah, tons of support. I mean,
people
it was amazing.
pulled over and followed us to the State House so they could get
photos, bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers is what I was actually.
They had there was kids coming up, like taking rides on the pony.
Yes, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kudos to Jay Noon, who really one of our co-hosts Wednesday nights, who really was I think a linchpin to making this event possible. It was his brother that came up with the ponies, drove up from Massachusetts actually to bring the ponies.
I think as far as a presidential, I mean, what would you call this? He's running for president.
He is running this time as a libertarian candidate, first and foremost. I think he threw his hat in the libertarian race the last time around, but it was kind of a last-minute thing. This time, he's going in full on as a libertarian candidate and trying to get the libertarian nomination for president, which meant that he could not file at the State House office. After we arrived at the State House today, most all of us went up with him to the Secretary of State's office, which is normally where you go if you're going to file for president or state governor or whatever. And he met with the Secretary of State. He came out. It was this old fossil. He's like 80 years old. He comes out and explains to Vermin that he couldn't take his registration for president because he's a libertarian, and there is no Libertarian Party legally in New Hampshire.
I thought it was hilarious when he said it was illegal. Like, he basically was saying it's illegal to run or illegal to be a libertarian.
That's not what he was saying.
That's what it sounded like.
But I could see how someone would see it that way.
And it was just, I mean, absolutely, you could definitely, if you watch the video, like, you could cut it such that it would definitely sound very much like he was saying
I'm
it's
probably
illegal.
not going to keep most of the stuff in the office in the video just because it's so boring in there. I mean, I'll keep Vermin's little speech or whatever, but most of the stuff with the Secretary of State is pretty dry. So we'll see how much of that I keep in.
I got the video that I took was actually even more funny because I actually, the ponies that were on the poles.
Yeah,
I
he had several
that in the video in the house.
Okay,
on the side, so you could see the entire.
It's sticking out the whole time.
Yeah, the entire time.
So you're referring to these pony heads, sort of like plush stuffed pony heads on poles that he handed out to like 4 or 5 different people that were walking. We had some anonymous.
It looked like there had been like pony enemies of state, executed. Right. We were walking around with their heads on pikes.
There were a few. We actually brought and contributed some V masks or some anonymous masks or Guy Fawkes masks or whatever. There's 3 different names for the same mask. So there were several people, including a couple Free Talk Live listeners who were up here.
Yes.
Lord Porcupine is in town. He and a friend of his were were here hanging out, which was cool. They one of them got to carry the crap bucket for the.
I
pony.
noticed. Yes, I noticed
God,
it's already.
the stench off that horse.
Oh, it ripped.
Oh my God! It almost killed me. I thought I was gonna heave.
Well, you weren't supposed to like stand right behind.
You weren't behind it, were you?
Well, I was
at
several
one point,
feet behind it, but
because at one point it let loose and dropped a lot of excrement onto the sidewalk. But you were ahead of it at that point. Yeah, you were. I think you were ahead of it.
No,
at that
I
point.
I was behind it. I think when that happened. That's. I didn't.
You didn't step in it though, because
no,
we would
I
have
wasn't
smelt it
close
on the way
enough
home.
to be in danger, but I definitely smelt it, and I knew who dealt it.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a shovel and a bucket that were going behind the thing, cleaning as much as they could. But that one was so messy. You could just scrape the chunks, but you couldn't do much more than that.
Nobody got that.
Gross. We can't get much more detailed anyway on the the radio.
Please don't.
So anyway, the toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. But, overall, I would say a successful event. I know you wanted more people to come out to it.
Well, I always want more people.
Sure.
I mean, it's on a cold day like this, you're not going to get anywhere near as many people as you would during warmer weather in New Hampshire.
True. But unfortunately, election season is always cold when it comes to New Hampshire.
It's
so
true.
There's just no option for warm weather during elections. Although today was actually a little warmer than the past days.
It wasn't bad.
We really lucked out on the weather. It was sunny too.
It was it was even almost a little too warm, right? Like I started walking, I was all bundled up, and by the time I was done,
take a layer off,
sweating, like pouring down. I had to take the mask off even, because it was so hot. I suspect that's why other people were too. It was I was
took
pouring
my clown head
sweat.
off.
That's right.
Just down my face because it was so warm.
So I don't know when I'm going to get the video out to that, but hopefully sooner rather than later. I got a lot of footage of Vermin today because he's nonstop. I mean, the guy's got all kinds of things that he's got in his head that just, I mean, obviously he's practiced a lot of it and he gets a lot of opportunities to do so, but he can just at a moment's notice, he can just start spouting off his prepared lines or whatever. Things about ponies for everybody and zombie power, and he's just got such great satirical content.
It's
really
so much better to listen to him than it is to listen to somebody talk about him because he's just hilarious.
He's funny, great sense of humor, good to hang out with too. Good guy, grateful, cool dude. We like him. In fact, rumor is he's going to be coming out to Keene at some point during the campaign, so we'll see if we can drag him over here for an interview. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. Coming up, really bad news for vapers in Massachusetts.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line room, or rooms rather, over at discord.lrn.fm. So feel free to hop into one of those. If you want to talk about Vermin Supreme, that's cool. We'll get into some potentially really bad news on the horizon for some of the vapers in Massachusetts. But don't think because you're not in Massachusetts that this won't affect you, because remember, and we'll tell you what's going to happen, it's going to be really bad if they go through with this, and it looks like the State House is doing that. But one state passes a bad law, and you start to see it happen in the other states.
Yeah.
Because the other states watch real closely to see, all right, are they going to get away with it? And if they do, then they pass the same stuff. They literally will copy the same wording and change the word,
Even when they don't do it at the federal level, there'll be people who come in from like Massachusetts into New Hampshire and try and get these bills passed in New Hampshire.
Sure.
So
busybodies.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
So we'll get into that coming up here. Again, we went to a Vermin Supreme pony parade or event or whatever you want to call it, pony march, I think, with open carry was the intention. If there weren't as many open carries, I forgot I guess I was carrying a blade. That kind of counts. But
openly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't trying to hide it. It's on my belt.
Gotcha. I mean, usually I would think like a blade you'd have in your, like a pocket knife or something like that, you'd have in your pocket or something like that.
No. It's
like
available.
a big blade.
I'm not going to say how big it is.
Okay,
but,
fair enough.
It's there. But I didn't notice anybody I didn't see anybody strapped with a rifle or anything like that. So it wasn't the most.
Yeah. Jay Noon was open carry.
He did have a sidearm.
Yeah, he had a
I think
9mm.
I see somebody with something that was long that looked like it could be a
really?
rifle or something maybe, but I couldn't
that.
really tell what it was.
So Vermin Supreme, by the way, he's got a new campaign website. It's verminsupreme2020.com. And so if you are not familiar with the man who has been running for, the last 3 or 4 election cycles, I think presidential 4, I think maybe election cycles, the last 20 years roughly, he is really a memorable character. He's the guy that wears the boot on his head. So if you've ever seen him,
and you forgot his name, you probably remember.
Yeah, between the boot and the ponies.
Like. Yeah,
you can't forget.
Well,
this guy.
he doesn't always have ponies around him, but I think he prefers.
But he has all sorts of pony
memorabilia,
memorabilia.
Yeah,
like
true.
He had I don't want to say a purse, but like
it was a My Little Pony bag or some sort.
some sort of bag.
With him. He had his like bumper stickers in there, and so he's always got some wild outfit on. He's got like 7 ties that he wears all at once with ridiculous patterns and such. He's very kind of psychedelic. This kind of very hilarious and well-performed performance artist. I mean, he is he's very good at what he does. So look him up if you aren't familiar with
I hear he does kids parties too.
Does he really?
Apparently. Or I don't know about, I shouldn't say kids parties, but like he does parties.
I bet he does.
I just assume kids parties, but he probably just any kind of parties. Probably more adult parties, to be honest, just because.
I don't think anybody's.
Yeah, like,
I don't think most people are going to hire Vernon Supreme for their kids.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. He's funny like that.
Their jokes, the jokes would definitely go over the kids' heads. That's for sure. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then get on over to freedomsphoenix.com. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, historical findings, liberty news, technology, and government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's freedomswithansphoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've recapped the event. There really wasn't, there wasn't any conflict, so there wasn't much to talk about beyond all the good, neat things that happened today. Just a tremendous outpouring of support from the average folks that were driving by in Concord. It seemed like everybody loved seeing Vermin there, and he didn't have any enemies on this run. So
yeah, I was actually surprised at the amount of support that he had outside of our contingency that,
it doesn't mean anyone's going to vote for him, but they like him. They like the imagery.
Every couple of maybe every minute or two, like somebody would be driving by and they'd be honking their horn. So it wasn't every car, but I mean, when you've got
that doesn't mean that they're going to vote for him.
Absolutely not.
Because in order to vote for
Vermin
Supreme,
I mean, they got the general message that he was sending of this is stupid, this is a politician, and politicians are.
They may have, or they may have just liked seeing a silly man on a horse with a boot on his head, right? Like, they may not have known who he was.
Oh, you don't think that people were making the connection?
I don't know. You never know why somebody's
I think most of them knew who he was.
Yeah, I think most people were making the connection.
You think he's that well penetrated into the populace?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, on Reddit, somebody took a picture and they posted it, and everybody knew who he was right away.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, the New Hampshire Reddit forum.
Do you think it's a New Hampshire thing because people are more familiar with him here because he's always campaigning here?
It's probably New Hampshire people I don't know about outside of New Hampshire, but like inside New Hampshire, he seems to be
most people are completely oblivious to politics. They purposefully avoid it.
This is not your typical
I agree.
candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also an obscure candidate who is,
true.
Only reported on as kind of like here's the guy with the boot on his head.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get the same level of attention. He's more memorable than your typical politician.
I think it's more of a memorable thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily know that. Yeah, like, I mean, as you said, I don't necessarily think he's getting the vote. But
yeah, well, it would be interesting to ask all those people. Like, we can't do it because they're just driving by and waving.
True.
But it would be interesting to ask them, do you know who this person is?
It would be,
you know, and what do you know about this person? But we don't really have the ability. Although some of those folks did stop. They would drive by, and then they drove back by, and then they'd like pull into the next gas station, and they'd wait for him to come by, and then he'd greet them, and
Yeah, I mean, I probably would say that it's probably not more than 10%. But it's still, that seems like a pretty good number for somebody who's obscure.
It was a surprising number of people who were driving by with their cameras held up and such. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. We got a Doug on the line in New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Doug.
Hey, how you doing?
Nah, I can't put your phone on the air, man. I'm sorry. I've told you before that phone is almost impossible to understand, so I'm not going to accept calls from that line ever again. Thank you for the call, though. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We will take any call here on Free Talk Live, but we have to be able to actually understand what you're saying. And that guy's phone is one of the worst I've ever heard.
Yeah, if he switches phones, it won't be a problem, right?
Yeah, but he does claim that he's in a mental ward, so he may not be able to switch phones. So sorry, buddy. Anyway, we go on. So from Massachusetts, here is some of the bad news from Reason.com. Now, you may have heard that Massachusetts is one of the states in the United States that has taken this anti-vaping fervor farther than any other state government.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. It's taking it farther than any other.
Oh, yeah. They were one of the first states to, I believe, outlaw the sales of vapes. Now, I'm looking to you, nobody, because you're the active vapor in the room.
Yeah, they outlawed it for like 4 months.
Mm-hmm. And it's still in that time frame, correct?
Yeah, I believe it is. And now, are they passing permanent laws against it?
They're looking at a straight-up ban on flavored e-cigarettes, according to...
Well, the excuse now is different, though, I think, is it not? It's something to do with children?
Well, it's always something to do with children. But
won't you think of the children?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, right.
Well, the fear-mongering, of course, is that, some people have ostensibly died from vapes, which, of course, don't have anything to do with nicotine.
Wait, they're still claiming that?
Well, some people have allegedly died, but it doesn't have anything to do with nicotine vapes, but that's what they're going to crack down on. So we'll tell you what's coming up here. Looks like they'll be stealing your cars from you. It's Free Talk Live. We'll tell you more coming up.
Are you sick of hearing the same crap on libertarian podcasts? Inside jokes, interviews of the same person you've heard 50 times? Then you need to listen to the Lava Flow podcast. No nonsense and to the point. Get the information you need and get out. You won't hear the latest libertarian circle jerk news here, but instead hard-hitting anti-statist news with me, Roger Paxton, shooting from the lip. LAVA stands for Libertarian, Anarcho-Capitalist, Voluntarist, and Agrist. And if you think you fit any of these categories, then this is the podcast for you. Listen now at thelavaflow.com to find out what's rustling my jimmies, what's in the news, the latest bad cop, stupid stuff statists are saying, and so much more. You can find out more and subscribe on any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com. That's thelavaflow.com, part of the Pax Libertas Productions podcast network.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market, making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want here. Our number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
Also, want to make sure you know about the upcoming LibertyCon. It's happening in D.C., April 3rd through the 5th. Now, you would expect to be conned while you're in D.C., but this is actually short for convention, and it's actually really affordably priced. You'll get to interact with something like 70 pro-liberty organizations. Perhaps you're looking to advance your career or business and internship opportunities. It's going to be a great networking event. There will, of course, also be great speakers. John Mackey from Whole Foods. He'll be speaking on conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith, the Nobel Prize winner for economics, will be speaking on alternative markets. Miriam Issa, pop culture expert and political commentator. She's got over 300 million YouTube views, so she might know a thing or two about something. Nassim Nicholas Taleb also will be speaking. He spent 21 years as a risk taker before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. There's a lot more to learn over at libertycon.com. You can go get more information there and learn about the other speakers and the events that are going to be going on April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. at the Marriott Marquis, where you can get discounted rooms if you're attending the convention. And if you are a student, travel scholarships are available for you. So please go to libertycon.com, and to save $10 on your registration, use code FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's code FTL at libertycon.com. We'll look forward to seeing you there April 3rd through the 5th, because as I understand it, Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from LibertyCon in 2020. So as we continue here, these vapers are under attack big time, especially in Massachusetts, not exactly a state known for its freedoms. According to the Institute for Justice, this story, by the way, from Reason.com, Massachusetts has, quote, the worst civil forfeiture laws in the country, unquote. And it looks like state legislators are about to outdo themselves. The Massachusetts House of Representatives this week approved a bill that would ban flavored e-cigarettes, impose a 75% excise tax on, quote, electronic nicotine delivery systems, so including e-liquids as well as the devices. So 75% excise tax.
Yeah,
we're talking about a near doubling of the price of whatever the products are.
That's amazing.
The cigarette companies are creaming their jeans.
They're probably making more money. Government's probably taking more money. You're probably paying more in taxes as a result of this one product than you would be paying for the actual product, after you take into account like other taxes that
you
income
don't
taxes,
see, the taxes you don't,
property tax, all the other things.
Including an authorized forfeiture of cars driven by vapers caught with untaxed products.
Okay, hold on a second. Didn't they just rule unconstitutional that as cruel and unusual punishment? Or was that
I don't know if
specific
it was
state?
cruel and unusual, but they definitely did find against cars being seized for certain minor offenses.
Who found against it? The Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court. And
okay,
excess punishment, I think, is what they refer to it as, or something to that effect.
Yeah,
right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they're saying the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Basically,
yeah, you can't punish somebody like absurd amounts of money because of some minor crime that.
And
they
that's
committed.
A constitutional provision.
Yeah, I believe that's my understanding. Now, I don't know if that was limited to.
Well, the Constitution says no cruel and unusual punishment. So,
but I think they consider excess fines also like cruel and unusual or something.
Okay. We should probably find that story.
Yeah, I don't know where that story is. Did we not cover that story?
I don't recall it. But apparently the news didn't get to the state house in Massachusetts because they've gone ahead and passed this.
Well, it might have been a regional. It might not have been at the Supreme Court. It might have been at a what's the one of the regional courts for the
appeals. Court of Appeals.
Yeah, there's
circuit
court. There's circuit
court, I think.
Oh, so that's the lowest federal court then.
Possibly, which would apply to multiple states, but not at the federal level.
do district court rulings apply to multiple states?
No, district court is the lowest. Circuit court is above that. And I think it was
I thought district is circuit court. That's not the same thing?
I don't think so.
Here in New Hampshire, it's the same.
Yeah, well, they call it district circuit court or circuit
it's also
district
confusing.
court.
I think
here,
there's a federal level circuit court that applies. Basically, it's like sort of the Supreme Court, but it applies to your region. So like
You're
Mass,
thinking of the Court of Appeals. There's regional courts
isn't that
of appeals.
The circuit?
I thought
the court that he's talking.
You're gonna have to pull up Wikipedia on this one to confirm it, but I'm almost certain it's the appeals that are. There's circuit courts, which are district courts. There's the appeals courts
at the state level. You're talking about.
No, I'm talking about federal.
At the federal
and then above
level.
that, there's the Supreme Court. So there's 3 tiers.
Okay.
As I recall. So,
okay.
Well, whatever the tier is that applies to multiple states, but doesn't apply everywhere in the United States.
I think that is circuit because it's the Ninth Circuit.
That's an appeals
court in California,
and that applies to the West Coast and
consistently
Hawaii.
finding unusual rulings, and then
that's California. It's Washington. It's Oregon. It's Hawaii. It's the islands. Probably Alaska. So the Ninth Circuit Appeals Court is what that is.
Appeals Court. Yeah,
and that has ruling over all the federal courts, the district courts within that circuit.
And they cover constitutional issues, right? Like that's
where they cover appeals.
Yeah, appeals courts do. Trial courts do not.
Yeah, appeals courts look at questions of law, which can relate to the Constitution or not. So according to the Institute for Justice, the House has already approved this tax, the 75% excise tax on all electronic nicotine delivery systems, so including the e-liquids and such. They voted 127 to 31, so an overwhelming majority of the state house in Massachusetts has voted for this. The Senate is expected to pick up the issue next week. So we have not yet heard from on the Senate on this. The governor, Charlie Baker, did impose an emergency ban on all vaping products back in September that will expire December 24th. The bill permanently bans, quote, flavored tobacco products, unquote, including menthol cigarettes, as well as vaping liquids that taste or smell like anything other than tobacco. It does not apply, however, to hookah bars or marijuana vapes.
Wait, aren't hookah bars, though, just the same thing?
No, that's it is flavored tobacco.
It's just a different
with
name for
fruit flavor.
Yeah.
How is that different than
somebody in the hookah industry greased the right palms to get themselves an exemption?
Yes.
So if you call it a hookah, then it's legal?
Well, also, it's been argued that that's a religious cultural thing by Middle Easterners. And so it's not obviously part of Islam, which actually looks down on tobacco, but it's supposed to be a cultural thing. And for some reason, my culture doesn't matter because, vaping is a cultural thing for me.
Absolutely.
But their culture does.
Maybe. Well, I mean, certainly with your religion, you should have the freedom to use substances.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're a psychedelic church.
I'm a psychedelic church, and we do consider vaping to be a sacrament.
Yeah, you do have to wonder, like, why do certain religions get exceptions for some of this stuff? Like, in at least some states, you can drink underage if you're in a church, as an example, or it's not enforced.
Yeah, well, otherwise
like
you
alcohol.
couldn't give communion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they get an exception? And
they're willing to fight for it.
Don't?
Well, they're bigger religions, and they've bought more politicians.
John Mahoney is a state representative from Worcester. Chairman of the Joint Committee on Public Health, claims that e-cigarette flavors were, quote, that were created and designed for one reason only, for young people to become addicted to nicotine and to become lifelong users.
I mean, that entirely ignores the fact that adults like flavors too.
Yeah, I use flavored nicotine juice. I won't touch the stuff that supposedly tastes like tobacco. It's awful.
Yeah, I'd have to ask what percentage of adults like the flavored stuff, because I suspect most
everyone
of them.
I've ever met uses flavored vapes.
Yeah.
The only time you see somebody with tobacco flavor is it's like their very first vape, and they bought that.
They don't know what they're doing.
And everybody else goes, "Oh God, get rid of that stuff and get something that tastes good," because that's one of the nice things about vaping. It's one of the things that makes it easy to switch from cigarettes to vaping.
It's more pleasant.
It tastes good.
Right. But they're saying it was all about the children. They wanted to hook them with these delicious flavors.
It's a lie.
We got more coming up
This
here.
is why we need AR-15s.
I'm not even a smoker.
855-450-3733. That's if you are a smoker, and apparently if you've got menthol cigarettes with you, they're going to steal your car.
Unbelievable.
In Massachusetts. Just trying to help you. They're just trying to help.
This is why people avoid driving through Massachusetts.
There's more coming up here in moments. You can join us. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
Who would win, Borg versus RoboCop?
Well, the Borg would obviously win because, there's a lot of them, right? Like, RoboCop is one guy,
That's true.
And
He's going to be assimilated.
He's a mechanized guy, but, he's not plugged into the singularity, man. He'd be totally assimilated, dude.
If RoboCop can sort of link into Skynet and then actually take control of all the Terminators, then who would win against the Borg?
All right, well, now you're talking about RoboCop and Skynet.
And the Terminators.
You're really talking about Skynet versus the Borg.
Yes.
And that's an interesting question because Skynet...
the Borg
sorry. I just think Bitcoin, not bombs, guys. The Borg and Skynet should not fight with each other. They should mine Bitcoin. And then they would be one.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. Thank you to Slim, who's a Free Talk Live amplifier. Slim has been supporting Free Talk Live for quite a long time. In fact, all the way back since we didn't even have silver and gold level amplifiers. He was just a plain old amplifier back then. So thank you, Slim, for your longtime support. You can become a Free Talk Live amplifier just like Slim over at amp.freetalklive.com. That is the AMP website, which will explain to you more about the program and how we use the funds that you contribute to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live to help us get on more radio stations around the United States, bring new internet listeners on board, and expose new people to the ideas of freedom. So if you like what we do, like Slim does, then please go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin, BTC, at ampamp.freetalklive.com. So we continue with more really bad news for the people of Massachusetts who might be nicotine users, people who perhaps prefer a flavor with their nicotine instead of just tobacco flavor. If the state Senate agrees and the governor also agrees, well, the state reps have already passed 127 to 31 in a vote earlier this week, a House bill that will not only tax all electronic delivery systems, so including the device itself, so buying the vaporizer, and the e-liquids, the juice, the nicotine juice that goes into the vaporizer at 75%. They will also ban all flavored e-cigarettes and flavored, cigarettes. So not even menthol cigarettes will be on the shelves once this goes into effect.
I want to know how they're going to determine whether or not it's been taxed or not taxed. And then
that is a good question.
When somebody is driving through the state who legally purchases it in another state, and let's say it's taxed, will that count or will it not count?
Yeah, if it was taxed in New Hampshire,
and then
is that okay?
Violate federal law? Is that a violation of federal law? Because it's discriminatory against out-of-state
taxes.
I mean, they generally can't just jack your stuff because you bought it someplace else, especially if you don't live in Massachusetts. If you're just driving through, I mean, yeah, you didn't pay a Massachusetts tax on your car either. Can they just take that?
It would be one thing if it was banned in Mass, but it's another thing if it was taxed in Mass and they were discriminating against somebody who bought the same goods in a different state.
I think that would probably turn into a federal case if anybody took the time to pursue it. That's the problem.
Right.
Is, they do this stuff and they do it to poor people who can't afford lawyers. And, so nobody ever fights because they can't.
Right.
They don't hit the people who can fight.
It's an interstate trade issue that I would think would be a problem.
Here's the actual language. So I just pulled up the bill H4196, Section 4 of what is this? Anyway, it's Section 4. When the commissioner or a police officer discovers an untaxed electronic nicotine delivery system in the possession of a person who is not a licensed or commissioner-authorized electronic nicotine delivery system distributor, the commissioner or police officer may seize and take possession of the electronic nicotine delivery systems and any vending machine or other receptacle, including but not limited to a motor vehicle, boat, or airplane in which the electronic nicotine delivery systems are contained or transported.
So if you fly into Logan Airport from California and you've got a vape in your pocket, American Airlines loses the plane. That sounds interesting. I think American Airlines will sue. Of course, they're only going to actually enforce it against
little people.
serfs.
Yeah.
They're not going to enforce it against American Airlines.
Yeah, I suspect you're right. It's
Any
gonna be
electronic
arbitrarily enforced.
Any nicotine delivery system, vending machine, or other receptacle, which again includes cars and boats and planes, seized by a police officer shall be turned over to the commissioner and shall be forfeited to the Commonwealth. The commissioner shall destroy the electronic nicotine delivery system and shall destroy or otherwise dispose of the vending machine or other receptacle, and within a reasonable time after the seizure and by public notice of not less than 5 days before the day of the sale, sell the vending machine or other receptacle.
Wait, what?
At a public sale and deposit the proceeds into the general fund.
Read that again. Wait,
they
so they're going to
they auction it,
resell,
and they keep the money.
They're going to resell the devices that were stolen from you.
No, they're going to destroy the device.
Vending machine.
Yeah, so if they catch it in a vending machine or in a car or a boat or a plane, they will then sell that.
All right, so I'm a
thing.
little confused. So do the vending machines that they're seizing from you get resold? Because that was my interpretation of that. So they're going to resell something that's theoretically illegal.
Well, no, they're reselling the vending machine, which is legal, not the device which they destroyed.
Right. You can stock anything in a vending machine, including a bag of chips or
makes a little bit more sense.
I mean, they're not destroying the. I mean, they're not just talking about vending machines too. They're talking about taking your car if you vape and you drive through Massachusetts.
That's probably the most insane thing, right? Is the car, but the vending machine itself is also kind of interesting because I was thinking what they were talking about is vending machines specific to vaping, and so to resell a vending machine that's basically it's illegal is what I thought what they were saying would just be absolutely insane because it's once they sell it they would be able to seize it again right away. But that's not what
it
they're
has
saying.
to have product in it.
Yeah, they take the product out and destroy it first.
So like with a tobacco with a water pipe, it's just a water pipe if it hasn't been used. But if it's used for the smoking of cannabis, then after the cannabis has been smoked, there's now evidence of that within the pipe, and so it becomes drug paraphernalia. Prior to that, it's just a clean pipe that hasn't been used for anything. So it's legal until it becomes illegal. So the vending machine is legal until you stock it with the vaping products, and then it is illegal.
It makes a little bit more sense, right? Just a little bit.
Well, none of this makes sense, the idea that they can steal someone's car from them, but it's also long-established protocol when it comes to the war on drugs. So for people that are out there that are outraged about this, well, when were you ever outraged when cannabis users were having their cars stolen from them? Because that's happened in a ton of places around the United States.
It's very true.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cases where it's like, it's mom's car, and teenager gets pulled over on it. They steal mom's car.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still we go back to your question, Chris, of how will they know if the device that you're using, I mean, this vape that you have here, Nobody, is in your hands constantly. I mean, you're using it all throughout the day.
Yeah.
So even if there was like a tax stamp that they adhered to the thing, it's probably going to rub off at some point. It's probably going to, from the sweat from your palm and the heat.
Theoretically, they have to prove that it's an untaxed item.
Will
right?
they, or will they just simply say the fact that there's no receipt or stamp or whatever on it is proof that it's untaxed?
Well, okay, so what kind of is this?
I
civil?
don't know.
Is this civil or is this criminal? Because in criminal, don't they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt before they
should
can?
have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
I'm guessing it's civil though,
untaxed.
because most of these asset forfeiture laws are civil, I believe, right? So is this?
Yeah, but this is I don't know because it's a criminal act. It's going to be a criminal act to possess these products. So they will be asset forfeiting you on a criminal. I don't know if it's going to be civil or criminal, honestly.
Yeah, it's hard to say. We're going to have to see how they play it out because they write the rules, and it's kind of their choice how they enforce them and how they interpret them.
And the Senate could change how this is written.
Most of the time, it doesn't bear much resemblance to what it says in the law.
Right, and remember, the Senate could change the proposal, and then they have to, come together and figure out what the actual final law is.
But it's the Massachusetts Senate. They're morons too.
It's going to be bad.
I would be shocked if this doesn't pass en masse.
As is.
Even. It's just absolutely, it's a mass, man. I mean, they're
massholes.
They take people's licenses because they don't pay a $5 toll.
Right, and you'll get like a felony charge if you've got ammunition or something ridiculous like that.
And that's not even constitutional.
But he might throw it at me.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll literally take your car, even though it's the ammunition's in the trunk and you're legally allowed at the federal level. Like, they're not allowed to ban that, but they'll still do it. Like, they'll still break the rules. The thing. I'm just amazed that these states manage to get away with this stuff because nobody ever challenges it, and it's expensive to challenge.
Sooner or later, the boogaloo will come.
Yeah,
I hope.
Yeah,
I hope.
And even when
these states need to be burned down,
even when people do challenge it, they still do the thing. Often they'll still break even though it's been challenged and it's clear what the Constitution says and everything, and it's clear that they're not allowed to do it, they'll still do it. I mean, it's like, look at the filming cases, right? Like the filming, not illegal filming, but people filming the cops, they still will take your camera from you, and it's like seriously, like it's like now they consider it evidence.
Yeah, well, we have to, and what we have to do is do what you did, which is put yourself in a situation for that to happen, and then sue them down to their skivvies.
But they keep doing it. There's been 3 cases alone this year.
Well, do it at a bigger profit. Suck as much money out of them as possible.
The money just ends up getting stolen from the taxpayers. The cops never have any
Well, that's
consequences.
okay. Maybe the taxpayers will put a stop to it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
We got more coming up here. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You want to weigh in on the future of vaping? It is definitely under question. Coming up.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,469, silver at $17, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,625. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, the so-called War on Terror, launched by the United States government in the wake of the September 11, 2001 attacks, has cost at least 801,000 lives and $6.4 trillion. That's according to a pair of reports published Wednesday by the Cost of War Project at Brown University's Watson Institute for International and Public Affairs. The report, The New Human Cost of Post-9/11 Wars, tallies direct deaths in major war zones, grouping people by civilians, humanitarian and NGO workers, journalists and media workers, U.S. military members, Department of Defense civilians and contractors, and members of national military and police forces, as well as other allied troops and opposition fighters. The report sorts direct deaths by 6 categories. Indirect deaths are generally estimated to be 4 times higher. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Members of the Senate Judiciary Committee from both sides of the aisle are questioning the necessity of renewing one of the NSA's many telephone surveillance programs. During a hearing held on Wednesday, Republican Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and Democrat Dianne Feinstein of California each peppered an NSA representative regarding the organization's drive to continue its unconstitutional collection of call detail records of Americans, records that reveal personal data of millions of citizens. According to The Hill, the Call Detail Records program gathered information on incoming and outgoing domestic text messages and phone calls to aid the government in terrorism investigations. Civil liberties advocates are pressing Congress to allow the program to sunset entirely, claiming that privacy concerns outweigh any national security benefits. NSA official Susan Morgan said the agency supports reauthorization of the provision so the government will retain its potentially valuable tool should it prove useful in the future. That's a quote. She told the senators the surveillance program in question is dynamic and warned lawmakers that if the collection program is not renewed, the NSA would lose a valuable tool in the toolbox. Hong Kong's protesters are getting medieval on authorities, combining a mix of modern militant protest tactics such as Molotov cocktails with flaming bows and arrows, javelins, and even catapults. The Mind Unleashed reports that as protests and clashes grow increasingly violent in the Chinese territory, Beijing has continued to issue stern warnings of an impending clampdown by central authorities. On Thursday, the leader of China said the continued unrest in Hong Kong must come to an end, describing protesters' actions as persistent, quote, radical and violent crimes that have seriously trampled over the rule of law and social order, end quote. Hours later, a second person died during clashes between protesters, demanding greater freedom from the mainland Communist Party of China government and pro-Beijing protesters. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
If he looks different than the other students on this college campus, it's because he's only 13 years old. But the amazing young Tyler is already consuming alcohol on the level of someone twice his age, and his talents have gotten him accepted at Ohio State University. We are lucky to be joined today by the little prodigy himself, along with Tyler's parents, Jack and Christine. Good morning, guys.
Thanks for having us. Tyler, most kids your age are in middle school and probably think that alcohol doesn't taste good, but not you.
Yeah, I like to drink liquor or beer or whatever. There's way more beer at college than at my house.
I'll bet there is. Your professors and classmates, everyone there at OSU says you just fit right in. You must have a lot of new friends.
Yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I go to class, I show up wasted, I leave early.
Wow.
So many impressive moments. You're active in a fraternity. You've streaked at 4 baseball games. You've broken an arm falling off a house. You've even made the wall of shame at a hooligan.
That night was stupid crazy.
That was a special day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in, toll free, bring up whatever's on your mind here. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Some major penalties perhaps going into effect in Massachusetts very soon. The State House has overwhelmingly passed a House bill that will now be going to the State Senate there that provides for a 75% wholesale level tax on all electronic cigarette devices, e-juice, and it also bans any flavored e-cigarettes and also flavored cigarettes. So menthols will no longer be allowed if this law goes into provision as it's proposed.
And that is going to be a huge, I'm sorry. The majority of people who smoke menthol are black.
Are black, yeah.
So there's going to be a huge racial disparity.
Just like with the war on drugs.
This is a direct attack on black people.
They say they want equality, right? Politicians will always say they want equality and they'll fight for equality, and yet what do we actually get in practice is laws that discriminate against particular groups.
Well, this is discriminating against all users of nicotine with any flavor in it, and there's certainly plenty of whites and Hispanics who are also.
Don't
worry, they'll take your car.
Thing is the main thing because it's like documented.
No doubt.
Is methanol is that a
menthol.
flavor
Menthol.
or is that actually
mint.
considered a flavor?
It's
mint flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of a minty flavor. It's also
I thought it was just
and
like
it's
nicotine smoke, like just a regular cigarette. Basically.
No, it tastes very different. And it is problematic because it's a cough suppressant, and so it does it covers up the smoker's cough for a while. Which isn't necessarily good, but my God, this is not a good thing.
We got more on the way on this story. If you want to share your thoughts with us, you're welcome to join us. Again, it's Massachusetts, so the odds that it's going to be that much better by the time this bill passes, it could even be worse than what it is right now. But again, it hasn't passed completely. It's just passed the State House. Beware.
Terrible violation of our liberties, whether or not you're a smoker.
Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts, and you can bring up anything that you want. And we've got other news to talk about on the way here tonight, including how's it going for marijuana legalization in Michigan. Apparently, Michigan cops, they're not so happy about it. They're saying their job is now harder because of legalization. We'll get to that.
Oh, poor dirtbag.
Yeah, but first, Elijah is on the line in Kansas on our Discord server. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, good. You're on the air.
I just want to bring up a really big controversial thing that is going on in our, which is bad toilet paper usage.
But you're talking about like doing it under the roll, like rolling where the TP comes underneath.
You have to do that if you have cats, or they're all
I'm
unrolling.
gonna give you a pitch right now, okay? And if by the end of my pitch you don't like it, you can sue me.
That's not likely what I would do, but just go right ahead.
I would be paralyzed by not caring very much, but go ahead.
Here we go. Remember when toilets used to be so great? They used to be so great. Why are they never great anymore?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you why. It's because the people that are wiping have no idea. They have no clue, okay?
Now, I want to let you know before you go on with this that you are on broadcast radio, so there's only so much you can say about excretory functions on broadcast radio, so I don't want you to get too detailed, okay?
We've got a dump button, and we're not afraid to use
it.
Go right ahead.
We have thousands of people, millions of people, you guys, pulling their toilet paper over the roll every single day, and we have no idea what these toilet paper companies include. I mean, the people in charge are doing nothing about this. They can't. Really, they can't do anything about it. They don't know how.
What is the issue that are you talking about? What's the concern here with the way people are pulling their toilet paper?
I'm getting there. We need to get the best business people, the best negotiators, and believe me, I know all of them, and put them in charge of wiping. And we've got to build a wall. A big, beautiful wall around the toilet paper companies. Really, it's going to be the most tremendous wall you've ever seen.
So you're anti?
This is going to be huge.
This is like Vermin Supreme.
Are you anti-toilet paper? Is that what you're saying? You want to block toilet paper from?
See, I prefer bidets. If you
we're
can
not
get
responsible enough to wipe our own behinds, and so we have to pass a law in order to. This is funny stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say this does sound like something that Vermin Supreme could take up as an issue.
Yes.
I'm getting there. And let me tell you, it may not be politically correct, but it's true. You think they're sending us the best toilet paper? They're not sending us their best toilet paper. They're sending the single ply, the scratchy kind, the rapists. What? We have to stop being so politically correct. And the people are saying, oh, that'd be so expensive. You can never do that. But you know what? We are going to build this wall. And the people who go over the top of the wall that is guarding these toilet paper companies, are going to pay for the wall. They are, I promise you, LRN.FM, they are going to pay for this damn wall. The people in charge have no idea, and they never win anymore. But
so what is the point of the wall exactly? I'm not clear on that.
Just trust me, this gets better. We're going to make an amazing deal. We really are. And it's going to be so great, so beautiful. Believe me, folks, because this toilet paper thing, this is our first step to solving gun control in the United States.
Okay, and how's that?
You see, let me give you a scenario, right? You just got out of Chipotle, right? And you're walking on the sidewalk, and you're like walking home, and you don't have a car, right? And there's these business places, right? And you're like, oh my God, I need to go inside, okay? So you go inside and use the restroom, and you realize they don't have the Charmin toilet paper, which, by the way, is 2 times more absorbent than other toilet paper that 25%
You just
of
don't
Americans
get
use
quality toilet paper in most businesses. I want to thank you for the call tonight. Kind of, running dry, so to speak, but appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, once it's dry, you're done.
Yeah. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So we're talking about real-life crackdown on what may be happening in Massachusetts. Reason.com bringing us the story about this prohibition that is being proposed on all flavored cigarettes, tobacco, e-cigarette, e-juice. Total ban. Also, all remaining products that are tobacco-only flavored will be taxed at 75%, for the vapes and for the pens and the juice and all of it, 75% at the wholesale level. According to Reason, the bill says, quote, a person who knowingly purchases or possesses an electronic nicotine delivery system not manufactured, purchased, or imported by a licensed electronic nicotine delivery system distributor or retailer shall be subject to a civil penalty. So this is just for the individual. Mm-hmm. Now, they do say knowingly, meaning that the person does have to know they've purchased an illegal nicotine delivery system. You will be subject to a civil penalty of not more than $5,000 for the first offense, and then not more than $25,000 for a second or subsequent offense, simply for possession of e-juice or a vaporizer without having purchased it from a legal distributor.
I'm curious. How is this going to work?
How would they prove it?
So, all right. So you fly in on a plane, right? You land.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They come for you. Is it you who has to know, or is it the plane, the people who own the plane that have
you would have to know?
So if you said and you testify, and they get you up on the stand to testify, they lose the plane?
Well, I don't know. Like nobody said, they're probably not going to be going after planes unless it's your own private plane, because they're not going to go up against United Airlines.
But
they have attorneys.
You see the problem here, right? I mean, it's effectively does the guy even know who's flying the plane, whether or not that you have
no, they don't.
Contraband?
They don't know. That's not going to happen. I don't think you have to worry about that happening. They're going to go after people.
If you're rich enough to own a plane, you're okay.
Yeah, they're going to go after people who are poor.
Yeah.
The people who had their cars forfeited during the war on drugs were largely poor people who were targeted, because they know poor people don't have attorneys, and they're not going to take the charges to court to challenge the law. 855-450-FREE. You can join us. It's Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time. Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. As a scientist, I know that balance of nature works.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. If you are going to Massachusetts in the near future, look out. If you're a vaporizer user, you could be in some real hot water if the authorities catch you with your vape tool or any flavored e-juice to be completely prohibited under a new proposed state law that has been voted into it's not into effect yet, but it's been voted on and approved by the state house. It now goes to the state senate as early as next week for a vote there.
I wonder if smells will result in people's cars getting searched, because
smells fruity in here.
Yeah,
there might be vape juice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that might just happen.
Yes, Your Honor, the vehicle smelled of strawberries, so I had a suspicion that the occupants were possessing e-juice. Because why else would it smell like strawberries?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe candles.
Get a strawberry,
some sort of scented candles.
If you're going to use strawberry vape juice, you better have a strawberry air freshener hanging from your rearview mirror.
Yeah, an air freshener maybe.
So, according to Reason.com, the bill provides a civil penalty of not more than $5,000 for the first offense of simple possession of a untaxed delivery system. So this is just insane. I mean, they don't even do that. It's legal. They legalized marijuana. Right, and they actually exempt marijuana vapes from this this legislation. So it's only affecting nicotine.
Well, the thing is, what they want to do is they want to force people back onto cigarettes because they lose a lot. They're losing a lot of money because people who used to smoke cigarettes are switching to vapes.
That's right.
I think they need something for their police to do.
Well, that too.
They can't bust marijuana users anymore.
And somebody to fill their jails. I think this is where it's coming down.
Because even though there's no jail time directly attached to this, there's a lot of people don't have $5,000.
Nope.
And they're going to be sitting in jail.
Well, I'll tell you what. We won't issue you a fine if you just sign over your car to us.
Yeah.
Because they're also going to be able to, for those just tuning in, they're going to be able to steal your car, your boat, or your plane if they catch you with an untaxed item from the world of vaping. So going on with Reason.com here, the bill also says a police officer, quote, who discovers an untaxed electronic nicotine delivery system in the possession of a person who's not a licensed or commissioner authorized distributor may seize both the product and the receptacles we mentioned earlier. That includes a boat, a vehicle, or an airplane in which the untaxed delivery systems, and again that can include just the juice, is contained or transported. It will then be seized and turned over to the commission to be sold for funds to be deposited into the general fund. The senior attorney at the Institute for Justice, who has been fighting forfeiture abuse for years, was astonished by this provision. He says, quote, "This is completely insane and endangers the property rights of anyone in Massachusetts. Even if you don't have an untaxed electronic nicotine delivery system, are you going to search every passenger in your vehicle? It's as though someone wanted to highlight the indefensibility of forfeiture via reductio ad absurdum. Does a receptacle include a house as well?" So yeah, it does say including but not limited to a motor vehicle, boat, or airplane.
Wow.
So yeah, it could be your house.
Right. Going on here. Albin says the provisions...
Or somebody else's house or business or, who knows what else.
The whole business.
Right.
Anybody they hate.
Yeah, these kinds of laws are used to oppress people. It's not even necessarily like the people who have the vapes. It's the people who own the property. So it's
the landlord,
the landlord, or it could be anybody. Like maybe the taxi car that you took, a taxi driver potentially. It could be any number of different, other people's property that they're seizing.
Absolutely.
In the situation.
And there have been so many different times during the war on drugs, because again, we've already been through this stuff with people's homes and cars.
They
and
already
stuff being
do
seized.
this. They already seize other people's property, because somebody else who has nothing to do, with the property,
was there
some sort of drug paraphernalia or drugs or whatever
your
on
kids
them.
Smokes weed, lose your house.
It's happened.
Yeah.
And but there's been many times where people, not realizing that they have rights and that they can say no to the police, to refuse a search, to refuse the police officer to come into the house. And in some cases, police will show up at somebody's house for some reason that has nothing to do.
Of course, they might just arrest you then for other reasons that they make up.
What I'm saying is they might come to your house for some reason that has nothing to do with, they didn't get called because you had a vape.
Yeah.
They got called because of a domestic disturbance, or they get called because whatever, maybe somebody in the house called them on another person in the house. Anyway, the police show up and somebody just lets them in, thinking, oh, well, I don't have anything to hide. Is that a vape on your dresser there, ma'am? So you bring a cop into your home. How many times have people with bongs sitting out have been? They don't know any better. They think, I called the police here because someone broke into my house. And then they bring a cop into their home, and the cop sees something that's illegal, like a bong or something like that, or in this case now vapes or vape juice or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're in handcuffs, or you got a $5,000 ticket to pay.
And they don't think anything of it in this particular situation, especially because they bought it legally,
or they thought.
Yeah.
Albin says the provision's only redeeming feature is the proceeds from forfeitures would go to the state's general fund rather than the budgets of the police departments that seize the property. But that's grasping at some sort of decency.
The thing that makes that important, though, is police are less likely to perjure themselves, lie, cheat, and steal to pad the state budget. But if they pad their department budget, a lot of times that money goes to the very pigs who did who did the deed.
Well, don't worry, they can change that before this gets passed.
Effectively, they're incentivizing themselves to pass more draconian laws on top of this when the state budget increases in size, because then all the socialists can get their way, and the Republicans and the Democrats, they can all get their way. They can get whatever programs through because there's all this surplus of money now.
Right.
While both fines and asset forfeiture could be deployed against the distributors of these newly illicit vaping products, they also apply to consumers. Quote, a resident of the Commonwealth shall be liable for the collection of the excise on all electronic nicotine delivery systems that are in the resident's possession at any time.
Wait, does that mean it excludes people from out of state if you're just passing through?
That part does. It sounds like if you're not saying I'm not a resident should get you out of that.
So they're basically going to beat up their own people, and not the people passing through. It sounds like.
Well, and that makes sense because constitutionally they can't beat up. I think that they would lose if they tried to get you while you were driving from New York to Manchester.
Oh, wow.
From a federal perspective,
they've already recognized. It sounds like they've already recognized that their laws are basically unconstitutional, and thus. But
what they're saying here, the rest of the statement is the individual from the Commonwealth should be liable for the excise tax on any systems that are in their possession at any time and upon which the excise has not been paid by a distributor. So if they can somehow claim that device in your pocket didn't have its tax paid by the distributor, you become liable to pay the tax. Of course, that's after they seize it from you and hit you with a $5,000
I wonder if
fine.
that means if you own a business in Mass, it'll be legal to sell untaxed product, but you just can't live there.
No, you will not be able to distribute without.
But it says resident, does it not?
There's more coming up here. This is just one provision.
There's more to the law.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Free Talk Live.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power. But there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live is brought to you by local.bitcoin.com. They do not have those pesky know your customer requirements in order to sign up for an account. You can get started buying or selling Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods. Now, some of those payment methods are higher risk than others, so make sure you've done your due diligence. And if you're going to be selling the Bitcoin Cash, make sure you know which ones are the riskier methods. If you're buying Bitcoin Cash, you're a lot safer, but make sure you're buying from sellers that have some trades under their belt. That way you know you're dealing with somebody who's got some good experience. So check that out at local.bitcoin.com. Again, no ID required to sign up for the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. It's a global trading platform that actually respects your privacy. It's local.bitcoin.com. As we continue here, it's Ian, Chris, and nobody in the studio. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. And then there's one more thing that you need to know about this proposed law that could be coming to a state near you. Now, if it passes in its current form, and it has passed the state house in Massachusetts, so it's not a done deal yet, but if it does pass in its current form, it's going to be one of the most invasive, probably the most invasive, and just absolutely rights-violating vape provisions, vape laws in the country.
Yeah, I don't see any chance that this law is going to come to New Hampshire. I think the people of New Hampshire would be. They
wouldn't stand for it.
No,
yeah,
no.
I don't see it happening here, but I certainly see it going to 48 other states.
There's more about it. Happen. We'll get to it, but let's talk to Olivia. She's in Arizona watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Olivia.
Hey, I'm just wondering, is this the same Massachusetts that took part in the American Revolution, or is there like another one I don't know about? I mean, I know a lot can change.
Well, the landmass is similar, but no, it's definitely not the same people and the same attitudes.
Oh, yeah. I asked the same question when I got arrested in Massachusetts for a gun charge. I was like, isn't this the state that has Lexington and Concord on it? Don't you know what happened there?
From what I understand, though, I guess the American revolutionaries were a minority. I don't know, but that's pretty crazy. But yeah, this disguise your vape juice and drive a clunker law is just pretty bonkers. I don't know.
Oh man.
But
the founding fathers would be stacking bodies by now.
Well, I don't know. They were tobacco growers, so I guess it could go either way.
Yeah. So, was there anything that was related to this maybe in Arizona? Is there any kind of crackdown going on there, or is vaping relatively free?
I don't know of any. I don't know of any regulations. I'm assuming it's pretty free.
Okay.
We're pretty laid back here in Arizona. It's pretty nice. I mean, you can go to Mexico and I don't know.
Wait, what was the rest of that? You can go to Mexico and do whatever you want?
Well,
so you do have to leave the state then.
Not whatever you want.
Well, if you have enough money and enough guns in Mexico, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah. Viva Mexico. Olivia, was that all you had to share? Was just your frustration with this new law?
Oh, it's just insane, though. I don't understand how anyone can suffer this kind of. I mean,
well, that's how they grow up in Massachusetts. They are surrounded and steeped in constant statism down there, and this is common for them. I mean, being controlled top to bottom, birth to death. I mean, this is the Massachusetts way.
It's it's not the only state. That's the scary thing.
That's true.
There's
also New York and every other one.
Many.
Yeah. Well, Massachusetts, New York, and California are pretty much the worst states in the union.
New Jersey's pretty bad too.
New Jersey's pretty
really
awful
bad.
too. Yeah,
for sure. Olivia, thank you. Anything else to share?
Oh, the worst part is how uppity these people get when you're like, why don't you try freedom? And then they get really, really self-righteous about their oppression.
Yeah.
You can't have freedom.
It's the law.
Yeah, someone might hurt themselves. Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it.
And we're going to hurt them to make sure they don't.
That's right. We're going to take away your car to make sure you don't ever smoke again.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Wow.
There shall be. Okay, here you go. So we already talked about how if they catch you, if you're a resident of the Commonwealth, you'd be liable for the collection of the excise if it hasn't been paid. But further, also, they might hit you with a ticket of up to $5,000 for your first offense and take your car away from you. Or your boat, or maybe your house, or whatever.
Or your airplane.
Yeah, airplane. Further, quote, there shall be a presumption that the excise on the electronic nicotine delivery system has not been paid, and that the resident is liable for such excise if a resident, upon demand, fails to produce or exhibit to the commissioner or their authorized representative, the cop, an invoice or sales receipt by an electronic delivery system distributor or electronic nicotine delivery system retailer for an electronic nicotine delivery system in the resident's possession. So if you don't have a receipt to prove that you bought that from a legal distributor, you have to pay the tax.
How on earth? How is that constitutional? What is it?
I don't know. You have to sue them to find that out.
Right, but don't we already? They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. It's up to them to prove it.
No,
they're creating a rebuttal.
Presumption.
What's called a rebuttable presumption in the law, which means
legal?
that
is that legal?
Yes, it's legal. Same
it's a
thing
prohibited product. It's contraband.
On driver's license, driving on suspended license. They send you a letter and it creates a rebuttable presumption that you know your driver's license is suspended.
Isn't it up to them though to prove that?
Not if they call. They called. You remember that from being a kid? You know, the rules change. I call. Well, they called that.
They wrote it into the statute here,
and but that's what I'm trying to understand. Is that constitutional, or is that just the way the law usually
like
is?
I said, the only way you can find out if it's constitutional is by suing them and going all the way to the Supreme Court, and then they'll tell you whether it's constitutional or not. Till then,
beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, so beyond a reasonable doubt, though, is constitutional, right? So that at least that part of it is correct.
This doesn't have anything to do with reasonable doubt.
Well,
there's
up to
a
the
presumption.
Well, it does in that it creates a presumption. So I don't think that
the presumption
reasonable
is
doubt. You don't have to prove that. It's on the defendant to prove themselves innocent.
See, I thought under that same clause in the Constitution that it was up to them
that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right. So wouldn't that give them the presumption or give you the presumption of innocence until they've shown otherwise?
It should. But good luck.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you here on that one. You're going to need a lot of that.
They're basically saying, hey, these devices are contraband unless you have a permission slip. That's what they're telling you. So if you don't have a permission slip, you better carry around your receipt with you because there's not going to be a stamp on the device. So you're going to have your receipt if you're a Commonwealth resident, right?
Yeah,
like maybe you can get away with it if you're from New Hampshire. Or
I want to know if they
that.
redefine Commonwealth resident though in the statute.
I don't know. You'd have to check the definitions
because I'm really curious about that one now because I'll have a different set of that's unconstitutional too. I think because you cannot apply a different set of laws to your own residents.
Well, is it unconstitutional?
I think you can.
Well, wait a minute. Is it unconstitutional then to have a driver's license? Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? They say if you don't have your permission slip, you can't drive that car around. Same thing here. If you don't have your permission slip, meaning a receipt from a legal business selling vape products, then you can't have that product.
It's sort of like the license to drive.
This is a hall pass.
They have to permit other states' licenses within their own state for the same reasons.
There are reciprocal agreements between states for that.
But that's a constitutional issue. The Supreme Court ruled that.
The equivalent would be bring your receipt from another state. And that would be the equivalent of an out-of-state driver's license. Of course, nobody in New Hampshire is saving their receipts because you don't need them here.
I don't know. I'm still questioning whether or not having an exclusion for out-of-state residents does not. I suspect that might violate the Constitution, but I don't know. Obviously, you're right though. Somebody would have to fight it.
In other words, a vaper is presumed to be in possession of an untaxed electronic nicotine device, which makes his car subject to forfeiture unless he has receipts that prove otherwise. And in the case of newly illegal vaping products purchased out of state or on the black market, he'll have no such proof. Say bye-bye to your car. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Make sure you got a lawyer on keep your lawyer's card with you in your wallet.
Make sure nobody threw one in the back to plant something on you.
Sure.
And call the cop afterward. You enter the state.
855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here to join us on the radio. Coming up, the latest on Defense Distributed and the 3D gun plans that they have been distributing. Apparently, the government's trying to crack down yet again. Chris, you've got an update on that. That's coming up. It is with you tonight, Ian.
Chris.
And nobody.
Plus, we want you to know about Balance of Nature. If you care about looking and feeling great, then you know eating right's important. But travel and work schedules can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature can help you with just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. So go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And then after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. You can go to balanceofnature.com, use discount code FTL to get that offer. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL, like Free Talk Live. Let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. We'll talk to Jones Incorporated. He is on our Discord server. Go ahead, Jones.
Oh.
Hi, you're on the air.
I'd like to talk about the vaping thing and then the MPAA.
Okay.
So, problem is that it's with like teenagers, so they're banning it for that reason.
What's nature?
For teenagers.
Oh, for teenagers. Okay.
Like, kids are doing it, and they're of course not like using it how it should be, putting like THC and then of course
Well, I'm pretty sure teenagers were using cigarettes before e-cigarettes came out, so.
But there were hand sanitizers in the jewel pods, I think, which are kind of stupid.
I don't understand the hand sanitizer comment. What?
Well, apparently, there's.
Are you like trying to keep your voice down so your parents don't hear you or something?
Yes.
All right, go on with your MPAA comment.
No, it's cool.
So the MPAA is basically like the people that rate your movies.
That's them, yeah. They're a real fun bunch.
Yeah, it's basically ran by like the big 4 movie companies like Disney, Paramount, all of those.
Right.
So basically, if you're an independent filmmaker, you kind of get screwed over. So your films could be rated like rated R and stuff, when it's really like a PG-13 movie.
And what does it cost to go through the ratings system, I wonder? I bet you it's not cheap.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like cheap, but I mean, like if you're an independent filmmaker, it's not worth it,
Have you ever looked into it? Are you a filmmaker? Is that why you're interested in this?
No, it's just for a language arts essay I have to write.
Gotcha. Hey, thanks for bringing that up here tonight. And I think and thanks for the call, a lot of people are frustrated by these industry groups like the MPAA that use the guns of the violence of the state through copyright law to prohibit people from creating things.
And since we've mentioned Disney, I should just say that Disney owns ABC.
They do.
ABC is a big part of the Epstein cover-up, and Epstein didn't kill himself.
They own Fox as well, from what I understand.
Also part of the Epstein cover-up. And still, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, there's a reason that there's a lot of independent films that don't have ratings on them. It's not because they're opposed to ratings. It's just because it's very, very expensive.
And I presume you would have to get a rating if you wanted to have your movie shown in a theater, right? Like,
yes, that's
wouldn't be able to.
Probably
otherwise.
True. Certainly, like when back in the days of like Blockbuster and rentals,
right?
They definitely were major chain policies where like they won't take anything that's NC-17 and obviously anything that's unrated.
Yeah, and this is what they did. What they always do is they used regulation to arrogate to the major studios pretty much a monopoly on all the theaters in America, because the theaters have to show only rated movies.
Right.
And
there's not a law like that, though, right?
It's an industry
in a lot of states, I believe there is law.
That's
but
unconstitutional.
In other states, it's still
industry.
It's an informal, monopolistic or a cartel agreement.
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't make sense that some people are getting really, really rich making movies, but there's no competition. There's no like middle ground. There's nobody making a living making movies that isn't getting really, really rich because of the cartel.
Yeah, you have a very good argument. There's only I think 7 major studios, if I'm not
if that.
Yeah, it's something like that, I believe. So think about that, 7, and it's because the system is set up. It's not a free market system that we have. It's there's different laws that have been passed in order to ensure the system that we have, which limits competition.
Yeah, and copyright is a huge part of that, because once
copyright's exactly what I'm talking about.
dealt with by copyright, then he who has the most lawyers wins.
Yeah.
It's not about who's
them.
right or wrong anymore.
And that's them, not you.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, as George Carlin said, it's a great big club and you're not in it.
Right. So, I imagine you've got the Disney and these major studios as part of their cartel. They go to the theaters and they say, you want to show our movies? You can't show any unrated films. You can't show anything that's not within the system that we've created. Or else we're done with you.
I'm trying to think there are in some places there's some independent theaters, but we're talking about probably like 2-screen kind of theaters.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're always very small.
That will play independent films. But yeah, trying to get I am very doubtful that any major chain theater. I don't think I've ever even encountered one that plays independent films. So.
Yeah. I mean, we've had one in Keene. Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree was played in
Was that
Keene.
even at the small 7?
Yeah, it was at the Keene Cinemas.
Okay.
You can rent those theaters in a lot of cases.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
But it wasn't the theater that said, oh, we're going to play your
They
film,
did not
right?
decide on their own volition to play the movie. I paid them as the executive producer
which is
of
different,
the film.
which is not quite the same
Not
thing.
quite the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there must be a carve out in the rules for like one-offs like that, or special screenings or something like that. But
I don't know if that you would say that's a carve out so much as it is they rented you the a theater.
Yeah, so it's an exception.
An exception though
but they're not the ones that are airing it and paying.
It's still their facility,
selling tickets for it, right?
They could sell it. I could have done it 2 ways.
Were you the one selling the tickets?
No. I could have done it. I could have done it 2 ways.
Okay.
I could have done free, meaning no ticket, meaning you can just come in.
Yep.
Or I could have had them sell tickets. I chose free. So I didn't want people to have to pay to come see the movie.
Even if they're collecting it, they're collecting on your behalf.
That's
right.
correct. They're your agent.
So that's not quite the same
case.
thing as a normal movie that gets picked out and played by the theater in order.
And it was
to make
only
money off
once. It wasn't a run of the film for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
it
still doesn't. I still would not jump to the conclusion that they're not.
It was early in the morning too, so it wasn't during their normal.
Right.
So it was like 10 a.m. or whatever. So their movies start at noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Why would they want it to interfere with their regular showings?
Right. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
But it went well. It was great. We had like 50 people come out from all over, as far away as like northern Vermont. People came down to see
awesome.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, and its theatrical presentation that was back in September of 2012.
I was there at the rescreening years.
The 5-year
later,
anniversary
last year.
That was 2 years ago, I think. Now.
Oh, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Already.
Time has passed so fast. I've been here like 4 years, and like it seems like just yesterday.
Congratulations. So back real fast, one more comment here from Reason.com on this Massachusetts proposed total ban and crackdown involving stealing people's cars and homes from them if they're caught with an illegal vape product in Massachusetts. If this goes forward, and the House has voted for it, unapproved vaping products will be treated like illegal drugs, possession of which is enough to justify forfeiture of the vehicles in which they're found. Massachusetts is poised to deprive vapers of the harm-reducing products that they use to quit smoking, then steal their cars if they dare to defy that unjust and irrational edict. Gregory Conley, president of the American Vaping Association, had this to say, quote, "Over the objections of most local lawmakers, Massachusetts voters voted to end marijuana prohibition 3 years ago. Now it appears that legislators are searching for a new drug war to fight. No adult should have to travel with receipts in their pockets at all times under the threat of having their vehicle seized by police for daring to use a flavored nicotine product. Based on what we know from the disastrous war on marijuana, inevitably it will be poor and marginalized communities that will feel the pain from laws like this. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have legislators who not only don't understand what they're banning, but are also insistent upon rushing a bill into law," unquote.
I would love to see the cops pull over a bus and search the bus for.
I wouldn't.
Well, hold on. They would be stealing public property because. If
you mean a
kid has
school bus or
vape,
like a
vape on them, all right? It's contraband, and if it's not taxed, well, they can seize the school bus.
Yeah, the thing is they don't have to enforce these things
they have discretion.
consistently.
Yeah, they got discretion.
I know.
855 450 free. Coming up, let's get into the 3D printable guns. They're back in the news. Defense Distributed. Of course, Cody's back too, as we revealed a couple of weeks ago. Cody Wilson, the founder, CEO of Defense Distributed. So we'll tell you what's going on with that story coming up in hour number 3. And also a little bit later on tonight on our video streams, Nobody's got an after show that he's going to be doing on the way.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,468, silver at $16.97, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,447. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, it's an open secret. The deep state is working hand-in-hand with Silicon Valley social media giants like Twitter, Facebook, and Google to control the flow of information. Mid-press news reports that include suppressing, censoring, and sometimes outright purging dissenting voices, all under the guise of fighting fake news and Russian propaganda. Most recently, it was revealed that Twitter's senior editorial executive for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa is an active officer of the British Army's 77th Brigade, a unit dedicated to online warfare and psychological operations. In other words, he specializes in disseminating propaganda. The news left many wondering how a member of the British Armed Forces secured such an influential job in the media. The bombshell that one of the world's most influential social networks is controlled in part by an active psychological warfare officer was not covered at all in the New York Times, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, or Fox News, who appear to have found the news unremarkable. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. New legislation will throw people in jail for disrespecting cops. That comes in a report from Activist Post. The new legislation is quickly passing through the legal process in New York. If you annoy a police officer in upstate New York, you could find yourself facing massive fines and even jail time. In a vote this week, lawmakers in the Monroe County Legislature passed a proposal in a 17-10 vote to fine and/or jail a person who annoys, alarms, or threatens the personal safety of an officer. The jail sentence is up to 1 year, and the fine is up to $5,000. According to the legislation, the anti-disrespecting applies to all first responders, not just police. Advocates for the tyranny claim that it looks after those who look out for us, because people need to be jailed if they talk back to a cop. Precious metals are quietly attempting a recovery. Bulls still have some work to do to repair the technical damage inflicted on both metals during last week's selling. Gold and silver still face some overhead resistance and the potential for concentrated short selling by financial institutions in the futures markets. Activist Post reports futures market manipulation of precious metals prices remains an obstacle for free and fair price discovery. Despite some recent prosecutions involving price rigging by banks, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee believes the rabbit hole goes much deeper. The committee this week reported that U.S. Representative Alex Mooney of West Virginia is pushing Attorney General Bill Barr to pursue additional investigations of price rigging in the futures markets. Mooney raises concern in particular about a mechanism for settling metals contracts called exchange for physicals. He notes it may pose some danger of a systemic issue. Both Mooney and the GATA have repeatedly raised questions with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission that have gone unanswered. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
But first, our parenting expert, Rebecca McCallum, is here with some advice.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca runs a popular parenting blog called Mom Magic.
That's right. It's about the everyday parenting choices that could make a big difference on our children.
Rebecca, I read the blog a lot. My first question is, who the hell do you think you are telling me how to raise my kids?
You know, I have a degree in early childhood education, but my greatest education has been raising 3 beautiful kids of my own.
Okay, Rebecca, what other bullshit do you have the nerve to share with us this morning?
I talk about this in my book, and it does take a lot of effort, but parents really should teach their child a second language. My daughter Hazel and I are learning French together.
Wow, I'll bet a lot of moms watching right now are thinking, you.
Well, I get that a lot, but the window during which language acquisition skills are at their peak is really very small.
I wish I had done that. You win, but guess what I just remembered? You're not my boss.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. Just dial in, toll free, and take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. As we launch into the third hour with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
We've got lots to discuss here tonight. If we get the chance, the poor Michigan cops say marijuana legalization's made their jobs harder.
Oh.
But first, I would say a more important story, and that is the latest on what's going on with 3D printable gun blueprints in the United States. There has been a push at the federal government level to prohibit the distribution of these blueprints. And if I recall correctly, there was like a federal agency, I don't know if it's mentioned in this story, it was like the IAEA or something like that, that this federal law or agency or whatever, essentially to kind of sum up my rudimentary understanding of this thing, it basically says that you can't export weapons without governmental permission to other countries from the United States. It's basically what the set of rules
That's right.
says.
They consider it to be ammunition.
Yeah, and so it's also the idea is they don't want gun manufacturers in the United States doing business with the supposed enemies of the United States. So you're not allowed to send guns to places around the world.
It's actually more complicated. There's actually treaties, from what I understand, that require it or something to that effect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something to do with limiting, like weapons of war or something. I'm not really sure what that means.
Well, they don't want the weapons of war to get into the hands of the people they don't agree with.
Right. And it seems kind of insane because, look, we actually sell these weapons to other governments all the time, right? And
you sell weapons to governments?
Yeah. You got me on that one. Sorry.
You mean the U.S. government?
The U.S. government sells weapons to
sometimes they just give them away.
And to really evil governments, we're talking Saudi Arabia, Israel, countries with body counts that are mind-boggling.
With oppression of humans, yeah, for sure.
Countries, right now Saudi Arabia is engaged in a genocide in Yemen. People don't talk about it very much. I don't understand why.
So this set of rules, this exporting of weapons, they said also prohibited the exporting of the plans for weapons, meaning the free speech of plans, right? You write stuff down, you have diagrams.
Say how weapons work.
Yeah, that's what a 3D printable gun is. It's just a set of plans that you can then import into your 3D printer, and then it prints the parts, you put the parts together, and you put a firing pin in, you've got a gun. Basically, is how the first gun they came out with was the what they call the Liberator. So then Cody Wilson and Defense Distributed, who's the company that created the Liberator and the plans, and they've got other gun plans as well that you can use in their Ghost Gunner machines. They fought this. They fought this ruling, and so for the time where they were fighting it, they had to take down, under a court injunction, they had to take down the plans from their website. They ended up winning that case, putting the plans back up, but there was some sort of provision where they had to make it so you had to pay for the plans, like they couldn't just give them away or something like that. You remember that?
I remember that.
So they would accept any donation of any amount basically, and then give you the plans. And of course, once you have the plans, you can do whatever you want with them, presumably. Now that's not legal advice, but that's what people would do. They would share the torrents online, for instance. In fact, we were even seeding the torrents here at the Free Talk Live studio. for some amount of time. Federal judge, this is the story from CBSNews.com. You sent it to me, Chris. Your phone was not supporting this CBS News
I don't know what's
article.
going on. I just started acting funky on
CBS
me.
is a garbage site. It's one of the worst. It
might just be the website that's causing my phone to be.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's just their editing's terrible in a lot of cases, and I imagine their web support isn't that much better.
Yeah.
So a federal judge in Seattle apparently has ruled, and this is from 2 days ago, has ruled illegal the Trump administration's decision to allow a Texas company to post blueprints online for their 3D printed guns. Judge Robert Lasnik of the U.S. District Court in Seattle said his ruling, the administration violated federal law with its July 2018 decision for failing to notify Congress in advance and failing to provide a, quote, reasoned explanation, unquote, of the change in previous policy. The July 2018 State Department reversed an earlier decision made under the Obama administration to ban posting of the gun blueprints. The Obama State Department had deemed the blueprints to be in violation of federal export laws, as they were downloaded by people outside the United States. Soon after the Trump State Department changed tack on that, 19 states and Washington, D.C. sued the Trump administration to block the reversal and keep the free gun blueprints off the internet. Well, guess what? It's too late. The blueprints have been on the internet since the first day they were released, which was before they were prohibited.
The crazy thing is that it doesn't matter what this ruling states, because ultimately the plans are already available internationally.
That's right.
And nobody would post to a U.S. server if they were wanting to distribute the new blueprints for a new gun or whatever else it was, because they already know the U.S. is going to crack down on it. So they just will they'll just post them elsewhere or post a torrent or whatever, so they don't have to
post them outside of the United States. Make sure your server isn't located within the United States jurisdiction, and you should be all right.
And it's not even like this is constitutional anyway. It's the same thing that we had with encryption, where it was considered an ammunition, and they restricted its export. But then, of course, they published somebody, I forget who, the GPG or the PGP guy, Zimmerman published a book. And he just exported the book because very clearly it's speech. It's a speech issue.
This isn't a gun issue. This is a speech issue. Because it's just plans.
Right. There's nothing manufactured yet. It's just the plans for it, which is very clearly speech.
Judge Lasnik issued a restraining order in the summer of 2018 to ban the continued free online distribution of the instructions to print the difficult-to-detect untraceable guns. But Cody Wilson, the gun rights campaigner and owner of Defense Distributed, which is the company that publishes the blueprints, had used a loophole since that order to keep distributing his computer-aided gun plans, or computer-aided design, CAD gun plans, albeit in a more limited manner. Lasnik's restraining order barred the free publication of the blueprints, temporarily blocking the State Department's move to allow the online postings, but Wilson was still allowed to sell the files to U.S. residents individually, so he still couldn't sell them outside of the United States.
I wonder what happens if he had just linked to a server like overseas. Would that be a criminal as well?
Good question. We know they've put people in prison over linking.
They have.
Barrett Brown, I think, was his
name. But it's absolutely
name.
absurd because it's not being distributed at that point from the United States. And that's a speech issue. Telling somebody where something can be found is
speech, clearly.
Beyond any kind of, you cannot deny that that's not a speech. Obviously, it's a speech. It's exactly what it is.
In his decision issued on Tuesday of this week, Lasnik noted the State Department's prior position regarding the need to regulate 3D printed firearms and the CAD files used to manufacture them, and said that federal law required the administration, quote, to do more than simply announce a contrary position, unquote. So he's basically saying they didn't cross all their T's and dot their I's.
Yeah, it's a technical
when
violation.
They undid this thing. He said, in lieu of a clear explanation of its change and in opinion, the decision by the Trump State Department represented a, quote, arbitrary and capricious, unquote, violation of the Federal Administrative Procedure Act. So these are bureaucrats just yelling, throwing rules and regulations at one another.
It's just bureaucratic nonsense. Does that mean that he can just post an update and then it will magically fix the problem?
It's not clear.
It sounds like it.
Maybe. On Wednesday morning, Attorney General Letitia James of New York, one of the states that sued to overturn their decision, released a statement calling Judge Lasnik's ruling a, quote, vindication of sound decision-making on matters that would have a profound impact on public safety. She said further, without
Nonsense.
question, the release of step-by-step instructions for the production of untraceable and undetectable firearms would threaten the safety of not only our nation's residents, but people around the globe.
You can already buy guns pre-manufactured legally. I mean, this is
Well,
the most
not everywhere.
ridiculous. Yes, but unless they're going to like have checkpoints at every freaking road from one state to another, you absolutely can go to another state and buy a gun legally.
No, but I mean, internationally, there's a lot of places where you cannot buy a gun legally, and it's not easy. So giving these people in other countries the ability, anyone with a 3D printer, the ability to have a gun is a huge thing for people and their freedoms in other countries, and that's what this woman hates. She doesn't want that. She hates freedom. She's from New York. She's the Attorney General there. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Free Talk Live brought to you by helpmetakebitcoin.com. If you're ready to start accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Dash at your local business, then go to helpmetakebitcoin.com and they can walk you through the steps. It is not complicated at all. It's probably way easier than you think it's going to be. Helpmetakebitcoin.com. There's no fee involved in this process, by the way. So you just go and get signed up, get started. It's super easy. They don't need to know who you are. They don't need your ID. Just create an account, hook up your cryptocurrency wallet to that account, and start accepting crypto of your choice at your place of business. It's pretty handy, and like I said, it's free to get started there at helpmetakebitcoin.com. That's helpmetakebitcoin.com. As we continue talking about the latest from Defense Distributed, or the latest that's happening to Defense Distributed, I guess we should say, with the federal government, federal district judge in, I think it was Washington State, ruling that essentially these plans that Defense Distributed has been putting out there for 3D printed guns like the Liberator should no longer be allowed to be distributed because the Trump administration, when reversing a previous ruling, didn't jump through all the legal hoops necessary to properly legally announce that reversal. So therefore, the reversal has now been reversed again, and it's once again prohibited, apparently, to distribute these plans online, at least for the moment. It was a decision that was lauded by the New York Attorney General Letitia James, who says that the release of step-by-step instructions for the production of untraceable and undetectable firearms would threaten the safety of not only our nation's residents, but people around the globe. Well, it seems to me the opposite's actually true. Being able to have an untraceable, undetectable firearm would enhance the safety of people around the globe because they could use it to defend themselves against somebody who was trying to destroy their lives.
Whereas the existence of the United States government, on the other hand, endangers the public safety both in America and abroad.
Absolutely true. The court ultimately found the Trump administration acted arbitrarily and capriciously when they decided to move forward with this plan, and we agree, she says, speaking on behalf of New York State. The lawsuit filed by New York and other states that resulted in this ruling argued the printed guns represent a clear threat to law enforcement officers, as they can be produced in private, avoiding licensing and security checks, and by default, they cannot be traced. And that's indeed the benefit of these guns, is that they don't know how many of them there are. The plans for these guns have been out there for years. The Liberator came out, 2013? I think it's been at least half a decade since these things came out. The government has done very little to stop the spread of these plans. They can pull, all they're doing is symbolically pulling this stuff off of one website. That's all they've been able to accomplish here, and pat themselves on the back and act like they're saving the lives of law enforcement and other people around the planet. There was no immediate reaction from the Justice Department to the ruling. New York Times quoted a State Department official saying the ruling was being studied at this point. Wilson and Defense Distributed have argued that printing the gun blueprints online falls within First Amendment protected free speech. An attorney for the company told the New York Times that it would, quote, be appealing and fully expects a swift reversal of last night's ruling, which is what they had to do last time. They had to appeal the previous decision, and they, I believe, did win on appeal. Chad Flores, lawyer for Defense Distributed, said, quote, with today's unprecedented ruling, a few rogue state officials have commandeered the State Department to do their unconstitutional bidding nationwide. So the good news here is that Defense Distributed is alive and well. As we reported recently, not only have they brought back Cody Wilson to help operate the company again after the state of Texas tried to lock him away for 20-plus years in prison, and thankfully we're not successful at that. They are back, and they're actually offering the Ghost Gunner 3 now. So, they're doing well. They've sold completely out of the Ghost Gunner 2. They're on to the third iteration of an amazing piece of hardware that allows people to build their own guns without any permission slips from the government, without any serial numbers or any traceability. And it's a beautiful thing.
I'll tell you, I wish they had 1 million of these machines in Hong Kong right now.
Yeah, what's going on out there? I saw some headlines that things are
They're
getting pretty...
fighting with bows and arrows, and they built a catapult that they're flinging gasoline bombs with. Yeah, and I'm just thinking, oh, you poor brave fools! If you just had guns,
right?
I mean, they're going to get massacred sooner or later by the Chinese government. I don't see any other way that this is going to play out in the long run, and that's going to be our best answer from now on. Whenever they say, why do you need AR-15s? Look at what happened to Hong Kong.
Yeah, it would be interesting if it didn't end as you've described. It is interesting though. If the people do continue to stand up, I mean, they're gonna have to effectively. I mean, China will have to commit massacre. They have to.
There's
genocide.
a huge number of people in Hong Kong that support the protesters. It's such a substantial
number, but if they, but it sounds like they're going to play it out over the course of maybe the next 30 years. So it may die down the number of people who are willing to stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how
and we
many
do know that works. That tactic works because we've seen it.
Yeah, they used it at Tiananmen Square. They killed a whole lot of people. And
I'm talking about the slow attack, right? Like if you slowly attack people, the people start walking away. They got jobs to go to. They got they got to
the
feed
government
themselves.
bureaucrats are getting paid to do this.
If they just kind of slowly drag
attrition, war of attrition.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. In fact, I did have a story about Hong Kong in my show prep. This was from a couple days ago, so I don't know if there's been an update on this. If you know something newer, please let me know. But as of just a couple of days ago on Wednesday, Hong Kong saw another day of travel chaos as violent clashes and a prolonged standoff were occurring at a university campus. So apparently, earlier this week, hundreds of black-clad protesters, many of them students, attempted to block riot police from entering the prestigious and largely isolated Chinese University of Hong Kong. Under a barrage of constant tear gas, protesters hurled bricks and petrol bombs at police.
Yes, I heard about this. This is insane. It's kind of bringing it to that next tier of when's the war going to begin, because they're using now weapons.
Well, when do you define it as a war?
Probably when there's some sort of organized fighting force. And
they've barricaded themselves.
There is an organized fighting force. They've barricaded themselves.
If they've got
this is
bombs,
the university where they built the catapult that I was talking about. That I've seen tested.
They've actually got equipment to fight the police at this point.
They're using flaming arrows now.
And it's not just a few people doing this. This is apparently being done en masse, from what I understand.
There's more on the way here. If you want to share your thoughts, and also if there's an update, we'll check on that too and see what's going on. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. I presume this university is also promoting ideas of democracy and things like that. That's why they're basing this fight there. There's more coming up. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. You can take control of the airwaves. We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts. We're telling you a little bit about what's been going on this week in Hong Kong with the ongoing protests and crackdown by the government goons on people that, you know, would like to have more freedom. They would like to not be ruled and dominated by the Chinese government. Of course, the Chinese government would like to go ahead and put this demonstration down and put a stop to it. So they've apparently barricaded, the protesters have barricaded themselves inside a Chinese university in Hong Kong, Chinese University of Hong Kong, near Tai Po, according to CNN's report on this. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
Don't forget, coming up in 2020, Forkfest 2020 is slated to occur. Now, there's no official dates, so you can kind of go whenever you want. But a lot of us are going to be going between June 29th and July 5th. And that will mean that for the very first time ever, ForkFest, the decentralized libertarian camping festival here in New Hampshire, is going to be happening on Independence Day. And in fact, Independence Day will be the final full day, be the final night of ForkFest, which is going to be awesome.
That is definitely going to be interesting.
I am looking forward to it. It was really great this year. I mean, ForkFest has been enjoyable every year, but it's grown every year as well.
It was absolutely fantastic this year. I had a great time. There were lots of vendors selling food for crypto. There were parties going on. It was wild.
Yep.
We had 500, probably at least 500 people there.
That's a little bit high, I think, but I would say at least 300. So somewhere between those two, I would say is a fair guess. But I'm not good at estimating crowds.
Yeah, I mean, I heard numbers between 500 and 1,000. I think.
No way.
I think the 1,000 number is way high, but
yeah, maybe during the Porcupine Freedom Festival it went up to 1,000.
Definitely for the Porcupine Freedom Festival it hit 1,000, over 1,000 probably. But I think for ForkFest it was probably got up to 500.
It's optimistic, but it could have been true.
Yeah, I think the lowball estimates.
There's no official anything with
other people thought it was around 500.
With ForkFest, you don't really know because there's no tickets. There's no central committee to decide, who shall be allowed and who shall not. There's no control like there is with a lot of these camping festivals out there. So it's very, very cool. Go to forkfest.party if you want to learn more about the event. There's some links there to a ForkFest chat room on Telegram. There's a ForkFest forum as well. All of this, of course, unofficial. If you don't like the chat room, go ahead and start your own. There's other ways to do things. And the neat thing about ForkFest is each individual who comes to the event gets to decide what to do. So if you want to put on an event at ForkFest, a music series or a speaker's stage or whatever, put something together you think people are going to enjoy. It's up to you to do it.
Yeah, rent the space, rent the camp space, or they have pavilions too that you can rent potentially.
Pavilion?
How do you say that word?
Pavilion.
Yeah, pavilion, that's it. Anyway, but yeah, you'd have to talk to probably the campground in order.
Yeah, you got to deal with the campground on that. So
and it's not cheap, so I don't know how many
to rent the pavilion. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
But
you're probably better off just getting a campsite. And
probably, but yeah.
All right, so check that out, forkfest.party. So it is not a party in Hong Kong, though, as we were getting back into this story. In fact, we're going to go to the phones where Gene the Christian Anarchist is on the line, and he actually was recently in Hong Kong on a tour over there, vacation, I guess. Gene, what's going on?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a cold, so if you see my mic muting, you'll know what's going on.
Gotcha.
I spent one day over there, November 5th, looking for the protest. I didn't find it. But everything seemed to have blown up right after I left because they've had daily protests every single day. They did call it off one day 2 days ago because the government was supposedly going to have the elections that they were going to have. And then at the end of the day, they changed their mind, said, no, we're not going to. So the protesters came back. Now, the protesters were in the process of cleaning up the streets and getting rid of all of the debris. But then after the Goonerment went back on their word, the protesters resumed. And I posted a link to a current video on the Discord that shows how they set up their own food line. They were feeding the students, and they were testing their makeshift weapons.
Oh, good.
And so they are fighting with what they've got, and they're doing a good job, and they're mainly supported by most of the people in Hong Kong. Keep in mind, this whole thing started with marches of 1 million and 2 million people peacefully protesting in the streets in a city that only has 5 million people.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good percentage of the population, especially considering that you're elderly and you're young are not going to be participating.
Right, yeah. And most of those people still are on the side of the protesters because they see what's coming from Beijing. Beijing, CCP, and people don't know what that is. That's Communist Party of China. Chinese Communist Party. They're the bad guys, and I know they're bad guys because I've seen these guys face to face, and I know that the brainwashing goes deep, and you can't really blame the people so much because they're brought up under this conditioning. It's like a dog that's been trained to fight. And I'm not saying that these are dogs, of course. I'm just saying that, you get a training and you go with that. And a lot of these Chinese people are great people. I've met a lot of them, but they have been conditioned to believe that the CCP has their answers. And they actually think that CCP is China. But CCP is only 70 years old. China's thousands of years old. So these people have to get a focus.
CCP is Chinese Communist Party?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear? Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the 3D printing would definitely help out in this regard. Now, the biggest problem in China is they don't have the barrels and stuff to start from. And I have a 3D printer here, but I won't.
The barrels?
How easy is it to manufacture the barrels? Because I thought
you print them.
No,
yeah,
not the barrels.
you can't print the barrels.
No?
You have to have some steel components.
The Liberator is a one-shot device. I mean, just to be clear.
Liberator is a useless toy that was designed to just show that it could be done.
I wouldn't say it's
call
useless.
it a useless toy. Do you know the story of the original Liberator, Gene?
Yeah, sure, the one from World War II.
Yeah, and that was also a single-shot weapon.
And it was crap.
Well, it was crap, but it was not useless. It was useful crap. The idea was creep up behind a Nazi, cap him in the back of his head, and then take his rifle.
Yeah,
right.
So
and you could use it for
the one shot. That's what the Liberator is for. Fill in the tyrant of your choice rather than a Nazi.
Yeah, it does have a tendency to blow up in your hand. I'd rather have
There's a risk of that.
The World War II Liberator was a little better. So, but the point I'm getting at is that with a 3D printer, you can print a lot of the basic components like the receivers, and then you could fashion the other components out of other hardware and make yourself a weapon that will actually function reasonably well. So a 3D printer and ammunition and stuff. Some people do have guns in Hong Kong, but it's only like security guards and jewelers. Very, very few people actually have a gun in Hong Kong. So they're fighting with what they've got. And if you watch that video, you'll see that they really have the spirit of freedom in their hearts. And I do hope that they can not get too badly massacred, but I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen.
I'll tell you what, I wish we could trade a college full of commies for those kids from Hong Kong. Just, hey, you American kids,
go there.
You spoiled brats, you want to live under communism, go live in Hong Kong, and we'll take their brave souls back here.
Gene, if you have more to say, you can stand by if you want. I'm not sure if you had more to tell about your experience there. If so, you're welcome to. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Mark, as one of our co-hosts, is back from Cuba, and he says that the people of Cuba are very freedom-oriented in his experience, having visited there for the last week. There's more coming up. You can join us. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or flashrouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. We're looking at the Hong Kong protests that are ongoing. Conflicts between various younger protesters and the Chinese government. They are now, as of earlier this week, apparently blockading themselves inside Chinese University of Hong Kong. Smoke, according to CNN, could be seen across parts of the new territories as protesters built massive bonfires from barricades and an abandoned car. The fierce confrontation continued well into the early hours as police kept threatening a clearance of the campus. Throughout Wednesday, protesters continued to fortify the campus, building massive barricades and stockpiling weapons, even constructing a makeshift catapult to fire bricks and petrol bombs at the police. As of late Wednesday evening, police have made no attempt to enter the campus, even as they cleared multiple other protest camps across the city with tear gas and baton charges. Late Wednesday, Hong Kong court rejected an application by students to block police from entering the campus without a warrant. Administrators also announced the early cancellation of classes, stopping the fall semester around 2 weeks early. Unrest is expected to continue throughout the week, and the campus will likely be the main focus as protesters arm themselves with unconventional weapons, including bows and arrows and javelins.
That's awesome.
Those are pretty conventional. They've been using those for a long time.
Attention in the city has largely been focused on the campus, and dramatic pictures coming out of it overnight largely replaced those from earlier this week on the front pages of social media, including the shooting of a protester by a police officer and the setting on fire of a man following a dispute with protesters on Monday. In one of the densest cities in the world, the university is a world apart. Its sprawling campus sits in the hills of the city's new territories, accessed only by a handful of roads and one train station, which, combined with the fact that many students live on site, give it a self-contained, small-town-like feel. At a press conference Wednesday, police said they attempted to access the campus's main bridge on Tuesday in order to prevent protesters from throwing objects onto the highway to disrupt traffic. Students, however, regarded their police operation as an unwarranted encroachment and threat to academic freedom and reacted fiercely, circulating a message accusing the police of laying siege to the university. We bring back Gene, the Christian anarchist, on the line here. You were in Hong Kong within just the last few weeks, Gene, and you weren't able to find the protests, but you said that right after you left, they once again started to become much more noticeable. But maybe that was because they were at this university and or in places that you just didn't happen to be.
Well, it was November 5th, and it was the Million Mask March, and they did have a protest. But I had the old location, and I wasn't updated with the new location, so I walked around for 4 hours and couldn't find it. But what's happened now is that it's gotten worse, and as you can, like you were just saying there, but I would love to change students. Yeah, I think nobody's right on the money there. If we could get rid of some of our students and take some of their students, we'd be far better off here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm concerned about the near future, because I think that we're probably within days of the Communist Party marching in there and starting to wipe people out. And you just heard, I'm sure recently, that Henry Kissinger says that the world isn't compatible with the U.S. and China because we're both growing too big and getting too belligerent, and I tend to agree with him. He is he's nothing but a war criminal in my mind, but he is right on a lot of things. And I think that we could be looking at the beginning of World War III, because once this Hong Kong thing blows up and the CCP starts murdering people, we currently have part of our fleet in the South China Sea. Who knows what that might run into, and if they get into a shooting war there, I would just hope to God that it doesn't go nuclear, because if it does, that's going to be, people whining about the planet being destroyed. Well, if we go nuclear, you don't have to whine about it anymore, because that'll be the end of it.
Yeah. Gene, I got a question for you. Do you know how, or if they've got any means of financing a prolonged defense force, the protesters against the Chinese government?
I don't know where they're getting their resources, but I'm going to guess that they're getting their resources from the silent majority of Hong Kong. I think that the silent majority, because lately another tactic that the Hong Kong government just came out with. Now, there's the Hong Kong government and there's the Beijing government, but the Hong Kong government is in the pocket of the Beijing government.
Right.
So the Hong Kong government just made an announcement that any person that's so much as arrested, not even convicted, but just arrested with the protesters, they're going to all be losing their jobs, in the banking industry and all that. So now they're trying to scare the middle class out of supporting the protesters by threatening their jobs. So that's one of their newest tactics. And that's a tactic that the Communist Party always uses, is they tend to ostracize people that are on the outside of their little...
It's not that unlike the United States government in some respects, using various tactics. Like we were just talking about today on our show that they're going to start stealing people's cars en masse. And
Massachusetts.
Over unpaid taxes on vaping. But it's certainly not the first time the U.S. government has done those types of things. They suspend people's passports and driver's licenses now for unpaid child support and various other things when they don't like a certain group.
But of course, a socialist government where pretty much the only employer is the government has way more latitude there.
Yeah, potentially, but
to take away your job.
It doesn't really. Hong Kong though, the companies in Hong Kong are not social. They're not owned by the government, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. They're
Hong Kong,
but of course they're highly regulated by the government.
Well,
the
government
can tell them who to fire.
There are some companies that are in Hong Kong but are Chinese companies, and some of them have been targeted apparently, according to the South China Morning Post, which is a Hong Kong-based newspaper owned by Alibaba Group. So this isn't a state run officially paper, but it's
Alibaba
you could argue that Alibaba is
that
highly
not owned by the Chinese government?
That's
or
the
mostly
thing
owned?
with most Chinese companies; they are government corporations, aren't they?
Until
well, a
recently,
lot of them are owned by the Chinese army.
I don't think you can even own more than. I don't think you can own more than 49% of a company in, or it might even be less than that in China. So you have to, or it has to be a partnership. So. With the Chinese government, even to operate in China.
That's my understanding as well. So like they're pretty much the government, but they're not exactly the government.
That's mainland China, not Hong Kong. So I don't know about Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
the protesters have been targeting businesses that are pro CCP. So any business that comes out in support of CCP, that's a target of the protesters.
So when you see
these buildings, when you see these buildings on fire and businesses being destroyed, they're not just willy-nilly destroying anything that they see. They're attacking specific targets.
Their version of the Tories.
Right, and they're trying not to hurt innocent people, but they're trying a whole lot harder not to hurt innocent people than the darn Hong Kong police.
Why would you target your own people, your own supporters? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the new the other thing is they have a new CS gas that they're using there, because we stopped sending CS gas to Hong Kong when this started, because we said we're not going to be part of gassing these protesters. And so what they've done to replace that is they're getting some kind of new CS gas out of mainland China, and nobody knows what's in that stuff, and people are getting very, very sick from that new gas they're using.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
And there's no testing on it, and they're not disclosing what's in it. So who knows? I mean, they could be sticking poison gas out there. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, it's interesting. It violates, I think, various international treaties and laws and things on that.
Well, CCP has no respect for any kind of international laws.
I was not suggesting that they did.
I also have no respect for international laws.
Yeah, me either. I'm not saying I had any respect for international law. I don't. I'm just saying, though, it's interesting that they're so willy-nilly willing to violate international laws.
So, okay, we don't know exactly how much of a mouthpiece for the Chinese government the South China Morning Post is. They are claiming that the Chinese university protesters have retreated, that after occupying the campus for 4 days this week, they have retreated. They've left the campus and have left at least 2 rooms stacked high with water, food, medicine, spare clothes, petrol bombs, and so they apparently just they got out of there. That's the claim, at least, in this
Probably
media.
A good call. I mean, they need guns, or the Chinese are going to completely slaughter them.
Thank you, Gene, for your call and thoughts on this. Definitely appreciate hearing from you, and we'll continue this maybe tomorrow. Of course, we'll definitely be here. Whether we're talking about this or not is another question. You can take control of the airwaves any night here on Free Talk Live. You can join us online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com. Stay tuned if you're on Twitch or DLive at dlive.lrn.fm in a half hour from now.
Acapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit Anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,468, silver at $16.97, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,447. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net.